Jacob.
I'm Yuri.
And we are going for a drive.
'22 VW Golf-R.
Manual transmission without launch control. That's good.
Keep going, keep going. All right, and full brake. Horsepower and torque.
315 horsepower, 280 pound-feet of torque, but 295 pound-feet of torque if you get the DSG from a 2-liter turbo 4-cylinder.
And we do not have the DSG, we got the manual.
Yeah, give me my less torque and give me my 6-speed manual. Okay, so we're at Toronto Motorsports Park in Cayuga, and I'm gonna take a couple corners before we head to the road. And turn one, man, this 4Motion all-wheel drive system is very, very good. Feels totally different than the previous Golf-R, and I feel traction cutting out, so I'm actually going to use my touch display to turn it off while I'm driving. Now I get a beep confirming that, and we can now oversteer.
And now this is Magna-Torque, not Haldex, so they changed it up for this year.
And like I said, it feels totally different. Like it sends a lot more power to the back.
Oh, that wasn't even drift mode.
Exactly. Okay, Yuri, I'm gonna go quickly into drift mode, and let's see if I can just do one quick drift.
Okay, now turn off your...
Yeah, now I gotta go do this. Oh, this is such a... There we go. Okay, so what happens now is that it can send up to 50% of the available torque to the rear end, and then 100% of that available torque to each individual wheel in the back, because it now has a multi-plate clutch system, a dual-plate clutch.
So I guess previous version still could send 50% to the back, but it could not send 100 of that from one to the other.
Right, so in drift mode, it is, I believe, theoretically sending 100% of the power to the outside wheel. So
all right, come to a stop up here. I want to see
hang on.
if this can do donuts.
Okay.
Yeah, can we do a donut?
All right, let's see if we could do a donut. Just quick. No one's gonna buy this to do donuts, but let's see if we can do a little bit of a donut.
Oh!
And cutting power. Okay, so
kind of counts.
You can do almost a full donut.
You know what? Considering this kind of car usually isn't for fun stuff like this, they put a lot of fun into it. However, a regular old G70, way more fun than this with their all-wheel drive system.
I don't know if I agree with you on that.
For drifting and
for
skids
drifting, yeah,
and donuts,
yeah. But this chassis, they have changed so much.
This car is fast as heck.
It is. We also recently drove a GTI. Definitely watched that video, and this thing would actually destroy it around Toronto Motorsports Park, Cayuga.
Yeah, and it also destroys it in a drag race and on a roll race.
Yes, it definitely does. So I'm going to put this back into Nürburgring mode. Yes, it's called special mode, but it's actually Nürburgring mode, which is actually my favorite mode and probably the best mode for any racetrack, because it actually makes the suspension soft. So now if I apply throttle, it's going to cut the power a little bit, but it's not going to drift every corner, because you want
speed.
You want softer suspension, but you want everything else in the most ridiculous mode. So let's just go onto the road and put this into chill mode.
You mean comfort?
Yes, because this isn't a Tesla.
What if we custom mode that comfort to even comfier than comfort?
Ooh, yes, we can do that through the infotainment, which is actually kind of cool.
At a full stop, though.
Okay.
It's called energy, people. Look it up. No.
Swipe that. No, you gotta go mode. And then you gotta go custom. And press the little thing on the side.
Little thing on the side. And then we can go our custom to DCC full comfort and everything else raised. You know what? Let me put engine sound off so we can do a little toggle. Pure.
Pure is nothing. That's off. And okay. DCC is dynamic chassis control, so this is our softest mode.
So before we listen to it from the outside, let's listen to it from the inside on our patented, not really patented.
It's patented, sort of.
Toggling through the modes selection test. Okay, so get on the power.
Okay, linear power. Yeah, that was like an orchestra.
Not that bad of a pumped-in sound, but I kind of like previous gen pumped-in audio from the Golf-R more.
Yeah, I think it had a more aggressive, almost like a Subaru WRX tone, but I'm gonna play with the throttle a little bit right now, and crackles and pops.
And sometimes you can get a couple good pop.
Like really loud ones.
Drift mode or Nürburgring mode?
I think between both of those, like I'll put it into drift mode right now and just see if I can get it to do it, but drift mode, activate.
You get more out of drift mode.
You do. Come on, just give me one.
It happened on decel downhill.
It did. Hang on. Damn it. All right. Well, at least it's not predictable.
Yeah.
Let's take a listen to the outside.
And with all this gas and letting off, you were complaining that it just dives too hard.
Yeah. So I find this to actually basically shut down the intake side really, really quickly. So watch our heads. Okay, watch Yuri's head because I know when it's going to happen. So I'm going to floor it and let off. See? So what happens is...
My wife would complain about that.
Exactly. So it's actually kind of difficult to drive this smooth for the passenger because I can brace, I know what's happening, I know when I'm going to shift. So what happens is you let off the throttle and then it instantly cuts acceleration. So there's no like any acceleration after like some weird cars do, which we really hate because like, what was the last car that did like a Nissan or Infiniti or something? Where you have like a second or two.
It kept pulling hard. It was not a second or two. It was like an instant. But it felt like
yeah. So, anyways, this doesn't do that, which is really cool, and it actually reminds me of BMWs, where it just like shuts it off. It's like violent.
Okay, manual transmission.
Love it.
6-speed. You can get it in DSG as well. However, you can only get manual in North America, Canada, and the US.
That is crazy.
Apparently, you Europeans don't know how to drive manual anymore.
Wow.
What's up with that?
Well, they're the ones that had like manual, and then they were complaining that all the North Americans like wanted manuals. Like, why do you want this? We've had this for years. DSG is faster.
Anyways, it's cool. We did a previous virtual review with Benny, a Volkswagen driver, who's like, I would 100% take the DSG in this one because it doesn't force auto upshifts anymore. However, we know he was just saying that because he couldn't get the manual.
Yes, but shout out Benny. He was a great sport because we did a virtual review because he drove it for us in Austria, and we did a really cool video with him.
But no auto rev matching in this car.
Right, great. I don't care.
I mean,
I don't need it.
I would somewhat expect there to be an option for it, but I'm perfectly fine without it, and I don't want one. I'm
actually,
not requesting it.
It's in here. Watch this. It's actually attached to my right foot.
It's attached to my right foot. And while you're shifting, that gauge cluster was in R mode, so we've got the tack that goes from left to right, and your shift lights show up in nice cool colors. I think it's very clear. However, you like the center tack mode, which you would have to go back to by clicking the view button, because once you click the R button to go to your race modes, it goes to that R gauge cluster.
Yes, that was all very confusing, but it was all accurate. So we do have an R button on the steering wheel, which is a capacitive touch button, which I hate. We can also change our drive modes with the drive mode button, which is also a touch button. So if you put into race, I like to dial back the view on my capacitive touch button on the steering wheel to the circle tack.
But this one doesn't have the cool honeycombs behind the graphic like the GTI does.
Right, but if I have it in circle tack mode, actually in any mode, but I'm just going to show you in circle tack mode, what do we have in this one, Yuri?
Shift lights, which we didn't have in the GTI. And then we've got a little ring around it. The colors all match whatever you set in the ambient lighting, just like the GTI. Lots of cool colors, love it.
Yeah, the gauge cluster is really cool.
But no fog lights on this one, like the GTI.
Yeah, no honeycomb fog lights. So let's talk about this engine for a little bit. It's the EA888, which is the same as the GTI. This one's obviously up-tuned to 315 horsepower, which is exactly 27 more horsepower than the previous generation. Does it really feel like that? Slightly, I would say. I wouldn't say like nothing crazy, but you could definitely feel the difference. Like, pulls nice and hard. It's actually more power than the Civic Type R, which is only front-wheel drive. But you get more power than it now.
It's hard to notice the difference driving them years apart.
Yes.
But I can see that it is very quick.
And it's nice and torquey, and if you do get the DSG, you can get a 0 to 60 of around 4.5 seconds. With the manual, you're probably not going to be close to that unless you want to destroy this front diff, rear diff, everything.
Hey, all you Americans out there, if you want to buy a Golf-R, tsp.truecar.com, and you have to get one in manual.
Yes, click the link in the description and you get discounted price offers.
Because the Europeans can't get manual. Now we need to hold down the manualness.
Yes, but also get a DSG one if you just really care.
No. That's only for Europeans now.
Yeah. And we do have the adaptive dampers. There's only one trim for the Golf-R now. There's no base options or anything like that.
That's the best.
Exactly, so you just get everything.
But now you can get a sunroof in the Golf-R.
Yeah, so this is the only option that we have.
And there's no more cool Spectrum colors or whatever.
No, they're all gone. We got this lapis blue, which is a carryover from the previous model.
I follow this one Instagram page. I think it was Spectrum colors only or whatever. Or Spectrum. I forget what it is, but it's just spottings of Golf-Rs in the different colors from like a couple years ago.
That's cool. Remember when we did that video with 2 Golf-Rs?
I remember.
That was cool.
That was cool.
Okay, so let's talk about comfort on the road. You do have the adaptive dampers because, like I said, there's only one trim. I mean, you can't not option them, so I'm glad that they included them. It's definitely comfortable, but it's also stiffer than the previous generation in a noticeable way, but not in a bad way.
Yeah, it's nice. Very, very comfortable. It's a good all-wheel drive Golf. And they don't sell the Golf in Canada anymore. It's just the GTI or the Golf-R.
But apparently you can still get it in the States, which is interesting.
I wouldn't know anything about that.
Let's talk about a lot more stuff with you into the driver's seat.
First thing I noticed getting in here, we've got electronic seat controls, which you cannot get in the driver's seat in the GTI.
Yeah.
And I banged my knees on the steering column.
I also did that as well.
You ready, pal?
Send it, Yuri. That was good. That was good. Solid launch for a manual transmission. Keep going. Keep going.
You ready for the brakes in your
full
life?
brakes. Oh, that was good brakes.
Lots of good braking on here. Anyways, all I really care about this car is how the drift mode works.
Yes, Yuri. Because you're a child.
Because I'm a child and I bought a drift car, kind of. So
Yeah.
this is the only chance I get to drift around.
Yes. Yeah, that's a drift. Solid drift.
I am thoroughly impressed with the driftability of this car.
Yeah, like it's allowing enough power to the back.
When they said this has a drift mode, I'm like,
Yeah, yeah, good one.
like,
Yeah,
but no, it's good. It's
just like the emissions were good on the diesels.
And then heel toe downshifting on the track and everything. Very nice, good pedal placement.
Yeah, for sure. And the actual transmission itself, yes, we're raving about it just because it's a manual, but it's actually a good manual.
Yeah, so okay, I'm going to do one more at Cleach Slide Corner.
Okay. That was way too hot. Oh, you recovered. So there was a ton of understeer there, which you recovered.
Because I tried to fancy wancy.
Yeah, you thought you were driving a 350Z.
Yo, Justin Bieber's got the Tim Hortons Timbits come in.
Yeah, the Tim Biebs.
If I can do a donut, Tim Hortons needs to do a Straight Pipes donut next.
Okay, you got to do a full one though. Good luck. Yes, yes. Oh, second one. Oh, there we go.
What
Good
you
job.
got to do is you got to trick the system into having the wheels straight, because that's how these things like to skid, right?
And with your capacitive touch buttons, I noticed you also hit the gauge cluster.
Did I?
Change your mode, yeah.
Well, whatever. That was enough fun. Back on the road, I fully approve the drift mode in
Good
this
job,
car.
Volkswagen.
On the road, second gear, nice and low, gonna floor it.
Boost comes on quick.
Good pickup, and that's in comfort mode.
You can feel that torque, like it's good.
This is a fast car.
It's definitely a noticeable difference from the previous one.
Yo, guess what I want to talk about now that I'm in the driver's seat?
The infotainment.
No, the looks. Okay, front end, this Golf-R doesn't look as aggressive as the GTI changes, but it's overall nice and an accurate representation of what the next model would have been.
I think it actually looks more aggressive than the GTI, but it hasn't been changed as aggressively.
Last gen Golf-R with the cool colors was peak Golf-R.
I think so too.
Headlights are the same as the GTI, and we do have the line that goes all the way across.
But it's blue.
Okay, we got some Golf-R badge at the front, Golf-R badge on the side. Do you like the body lines of this?
Yeah, looks pretty good. Just like the GTI.
But from the side view, we've got a bigger wing, which is pretty much exactly like what I photoshopped on that original video.
Oh yeah, that's right. And then the wheels are actually pretty nice on this. Like I do like these Golf-R wheels.
Again, not as nice as previous gen Golf-R wheels, but what would be the Continental recommended tire for a Golf-R?
The Extreme Contact Sport and the Viking Contact 7.
What if you wanted to race this thing on the track?
Continental Extreme Contact Force.
And then this only comes in a 4-door, no 2-door Golf-R. I don't even know if we had a Golf-R 2-door, like an R32.
The only one would be the R32, the early one, the first one I think that we got.
Anyways, no more 2 doors, that's fine. Lots of room in the back seat.
Well, for you, not so much for me. Just my knees hit, but it's actually livable.
Me behind myself is great. Lots of room if you got a kid, toss them in there, take them out, because it's not a 3-door like a Veloster or a 2-door like my GTI.
You're like your wife's GTI?
My wife's GTI.
Yeah.
And then back to the door handles and everything, we got the nice little button so it locks itself. We got a cool key. It's like all gloss black and stuff.
Oh, it's disgusting.
A little R on it.
Why would you do
this
that?
This is gonna get
Volkswagen?
scratched up. So this isn't that. It's actually the GTI.
One drop. And
Yeah,
it's done.
Yeah, that looks cool. It's all about selling it to the person, not about maintaining it.
Yes, and then also at night, there's R logos that illuminate on the ground.
Oh, yeah, all right. That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, it's pretty impressive for a Golf.
And the front end also lights up. There's a light bar up there.
Moving on to the back.
Nothing special.
No.
Except the
wing-
R badge is in the middle now.
Yeah, that's cool. The wing is cool, and then we've got double dual exhaust.
Yeah.
Should we
Take a listen to the outside? Yeah.
So you can rev it all the way to redline in certain modes. Let's see, I'm in comfort now.
Every mode, bro.
Dang. I thought it was only certain modes when stopped, maybe.
Maybe he was on the DSG one.
Oh. Anyways, good job.
And the coolest part about the rear end is the diffuser, which is totally different than the GTI.
Yeah, but the taillights are the same as the GTI.
Yeah. So overall, this thing looks really good.
Yeah.
Didn't screw it up.
Do you like it more than the Stinger? Still
No, the Stinger's the best. Well, the first Stinger.
Okay, do you like it more than the new G70? I still don't.
No.
TLX? Kind of like TLX looks more.
TLX looked really good.
Definitely not in this color. It's not really impressing me.
Still a subtle car.
And what are the main competitors for this?
This would be the STI and the Civic Type R, even though the Type R is front-wheel drive.
Kind of like the look of both of those more.
Yeah. STI classic, because we don't even know what the new Type R is going to look like yet.
And we're going to have an STI review this winter with a bunch of sick drone footage that we shot at a racetrack being built. So now moving on to the interior. Before we get to the infotainment, we've got a cool material on the dash. I don't know what it is.
No, it's like, it's trying to be carbon fiber, but it's different enough that
Almost
it
like,
isn't.
like a stitched carbon fiber.
Like a circled carbon. I don't know.
I like it. I like
but
it.
We also have carbon fiber on the actual seats. Well, carbon fiber-ish, which is cool.
And the blue is cool and everything. Seats are very comfortable.
Yeah.
Visors.
Yeah, let's check. Like we know. Ugh.
3, 2, 1.
Full pass, good job.
Okay. Cup holder, just like the GTI. Weird thing. Flap comes out. A little awkward.
That's a total fail.
Don't like it at all. We got the ratcheting armrest and extending. It's all good. Now the infotainment screen.
Whoa, whoa. We also have a wireless charger, which is really good as well.
Really holds your phone in.
Infotainment screen.
Okay. It's got the new slider buttons, touch buttons that are not illuminated at night. We went in depth with it in the GTI video and
in the ID4.
So watch those videos. It is the exact same thoughts.
Damn it, we said the same thing at the same time, and everyone's going to see that we're scripted.
They're not scripted.
I know. But the gist of it is that we both hate this infotainment.
Yes.
Everything is touch. You basically can't get away from touch, and you actually have to use voice.
If it wasn't for this infotainment, if they had like hard buttons for climate and like your radio and stuff,
Exactly.
I would
You could deal.
yeah, as this is for me, total deal breaker. And like some Hyundais are total deal breakers too with their crappy infotainments now.
Yeah, so what you have to do now is hey Volkswagen, cool my seat.
Here are some examples of what you could say for climate control. I am too warm or my feet are cold.
Hey Volkswagen, my butt is hot.
Okay, cooling the right front seat now.
Okay, all right.
So we have cooled seats in this one.
Yeah, and heated, which is nice, and then a heated steering wheel with your gloss black touch buttons on your steering wheel.
Yeah, don't really like the capacitive buttons on the steering wheel. I did click them while driving around, but on our turn stock, we have a button that gets us our safety stuff, so we do have really good lane keep. You need to click that, make sure lane assist is on, turn on your cruise control, and then push the button at the bottom right to enable the good one.
Yeah.
And then how about Android Auto and Apple CarPlay?
We've got them both, and you can toggle between wired and wireless.
And we're running USB-C only because the future is now.
Yes, apparently.
So I feel like that's pretty much everything out of the way. I am very impressed that it actually could drift. Oh, we have a head-up display.
Yes.
And if we use Apple Maps navigation in Apple CarPlay, it'll actually show that stuff in the head-up display and in the gauge cluster. Let's get to the...
Well, I also have one more thing to say. Yes, this is all-wheel drive, but it can actually decouple the rear end and be basically front-wheel drive to save on gas most of the time when you're just cruising along in comfort.
We're done.
We're done.
Let's get to the price.
One price, except with the sunroof option. This one is $46,245.
I think a good price for this, especially considering the fully loaded GTI is $41,000 Canadian.
Yeah, exactly. Like this, you do get a lot of value for this.
Yeah, and if you want the all-wheel drive version so that it's got more grip in snow and weather, instead of a front-wheel drive GTI, get it in DSG.
Yeah.
Seems like perfectly reasonable thing to do.
For sure, this is a great car, and the improvements are definitely worthwhile to consider over the previous generation. So let us know what you guys think. And if you're shopping for one of these bad boys, tsp.truecar.com.